Is there anything else that as an investor looking into some of these deals, if they're going to place qualified money, retirement money into some of these deals, is there anything else in the documentation or in the setup or any conversation that they should be having with a manager of making sure that they're all on the same page with what that might take going forward?
Yeah, it depends on everyone's situation, but the first one would be the debt that we've talked about. Is there debt in the
Hmm.
deal or not? And actually 401ks, solo 401ks, which many of those get self-directed to, those are exempt from that debt, actually, the UDFI tax on debt. So IRAs are subjected to it, but 401ks or employer-based plans are actually exempt from that tax. So just a little side note. If someone's a little older, that's sometimes we do have many accounts, people in their 60s and 70s. And if they have a traditional account, they may need to start taking required minimum distributions when they hit 72. So if it's someone a little older that has a traditional account, Roth accounts are exempt from these required minimum distributions, but they may need to make sure they're getting some income from the fund or have other retirement account money to satisfy their required minimum distribution. When you hit 72 and you have a traditional IRA, let's say if it's $1 million or 100,000, doesn't matter. You're going to have to take about 3% of that out as a distribution when you hit 72. And then it starts going
Hmm.
up over time to you're maybe taking 6 or 7% out. But so if I have a $100,000 account, I need to get 3,000 out that year as a distribution. So if the fund's not distributing profits and I invested every penny of my account into that deal, I could have a problem from a required minimum distribution standpoint. So that's one thing an investor should be thinking about if they're older, using traditional funds because Roths are exempt from RMD. Otherwise, it's just the typical due diligence from the
Hmm.
investor standpoint is look at the deal, look at the returns that are being discussed, do your own numbers and make your own analysis as to it. Don't just trust the fund sponsor blindly, but look at it and come to your own conclusions. And then if it's better than the next best thing your retirement account can invest into or what it's already in, then you should be investing, right? Why would you not? The thing I'd say though, for a fund sponsor, if I could mention for them back on their consideration is it was a hedge fund, not real estate, but they basically are a hedge fund that invest in different index funds in and out
Hmm.
and had their own little proprietary trading strategy. They'd had individual investors for years and done pretty well at it. They had a good track record, had 1,000+ investors, and they'd been at it for 5 to 10 years. They'd been shy about using retirement accounts and they ended up opening up their next fund to retirement accounts. And all they did was went to their existing database of people who'd already invested with them and said, hey, you can invest in this one. And by the way, the next fund we're doing, if you want to use an IRA, you can. Almost half their dollars came in from retirement
Wow.
accounts. And they were so shocked because this was just their existing database of people.
Hmm.
And we ended up working with them and setting up hundreds of accounts for people investing into their funds. So I think for a lot of people that raise money, it's don't think about going to someone else necessarily. It's your existing database of investors or prospective people that have looked at you and considered or invested with you to say, and did you know you could use your retirement account in this offering? And because there's just so much money socked away there that frankly, a lot of people are frustrated with the returns they've got. I can't tell you how many people I talk to that are like, the market's up, but why isn't my account? Like, what the hell? Or it's like, I hear the market's up 15% this last year, but my account's up 5. When you peel away the onion and all the fees and everyone else you got involved in that account because you wanted to just be set it and forget it, that's what happens.
Yeah.